All right. Let me just make sure I'm live on Instagram. There we go. All right. All right. So I was supposed to do Heart Centered Fridays on Friday, healing the money wound, but I wasn't able to get on. I actually forgot because my sister was in town for my son's birthday, so I forgot to get on. But this is my makeup session because I wanted to make sure I got this information out to you guys. This is healing the money wound. So, from scarcity to sovereignty. So, basically, the intention of this transmission is to transmute inherited scarcity patterns into harmonic abundance through breath, geometry, and symbolic coherence. And some of this might sound like foreign to you guys, but I've just been studying a lot of sacred geometry and just other things that have to deal with like energy and how this world actually works, like the universal truths, basically the universal laws, which are law. Those are the those are the actual one. Those are the true laws that exist, as I've seen numerous times in my life. And so now I'm just learning more about it and actually putting it to practice and seeing my reality change in front of my face. So, the first thing that we're going to do to open the field for coherence is take 3 deep breaths. Breath work is crucial. I do this all the time. What you want to do is take a deep breath, inhale for 5 seconds. So you inhale for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and then try and release for 5 seconds. And you do that 3 times. So and what you want to do is you actually want to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth every time you do this. And it's 3 times. So basically, that's the 3rd time. So money is a mirror, not a master. All right. So a brief invocation that I'm going to say is basically root yourself in safety, sovereignty, and service. I root myself in safety, sovereignty, and service right now. So I'm going to get into, baby, stop. Sorry, my son is here with me right now. So I'm trying to do this while also taking care of him because he is at that age where he's still, needing mommy's attention. So our first segment is basically unveiling the wound. So understanding that you have a wound with money is the first step. And so what is I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to actually think about it. So what is your earliest memory of money? I'll let you guys think about that. What is your earliest memory that has to do with money? I can actually give you an example of my earliest memory of when it comes to money is I remember all of my friends that were able to travel and do all these different things. I didn't really care too much about like clothes and shoes and stuff like that. But for me, it was the fact that I had friends that were going snowboarding. I had friends that, were traveling to different countries and different things. And my parents never had enough money to do that. And so money wounds.
Mommy, go eat it.
So money wounds often form inherited shame, unmet needs, or distorted archetypes of provision. You basically have to reframe money not as value, not as your value, but as memory, a carrier of encoded agreements. My son just ate a pepperoni. It's too spicy. Oh, it's too spicy. Okay, so let me say that again. So you got to reframe money not as value, not as your value, but as memory, a carrier of encoded agreements. So I'm going to read off a quote from Robert Edward Grant's Codex. And he talks a lot about sacred geometry and stuff like that. So sovereignty is coherence. control collapses when awareness enters symbolic recursion. And I know some of you guys may not understand what that means. But it's basically having heart coherence. When you have heart coherence, you have energetic sovereignty. And money is just energy. Everything is energy. All right. So segment 2. Let me go into segment 2, dissolving the identity of lack. So you basically have to tell yourself, my balance does not define my worth. A quick story of my money. I literally had to sit with, like, I had negative bank accounts at one point. I had low bank accounts at one point. And I felt a contraction within me every time I would see those, like the need to hustle, the need to do more. And that contraction is actually that it's a vibration of lack within you. And that's actually what we need to change within us in order to let the abundance flow. And so I literally had to sit with my bank accounts and not avoid it, because I noticed that I would not want to look at it if it was negative or if it was low. And basically force myself to sit with it and tell myself, this does not define me. You bring me the remote. Bring me the remote. I gotta make sure he's watching something while I'm doing this. Even though he's not always watching TV or on his tablet, but when I need to do something, I do allow him to. Okay. So I had to sit with my negative bank accounts and basically sit there and tell myself, okay, this number does not define me. I am safe. I am sovereign. And I had to sit with it numerous times before that vibration of lack, that contraction in my chest started to go away. And so, there was a time when I would look at my bank balance and I'd feel my chest tighten. I'd feel shame, the pressure to do something, to hustle harder, a need to fix or prove myself. But one day that's when I started sitting with it. I let the number be low. I let myself feel the contraction without running from it. That's the thing. A lot of us run from it, and it doesn't get rid of it when we run from it. So we have to sit with it. And in that moment, something began to shift. I basically started telling myself, like I just said, this number does not define me. This is just a reflection, not a truth. Over time, the shame dissolved, the contraction stopped gripping, and what was left was sovereignty, a quiet knowing, I am not in lack, I am enough. And so a lot of that lack with money comes, it's basically the lack of worthiness or enough, like not feeling enough within ourselves. And we tend to run away from it versus actually facing it. And so here's a practice. Remember, I want you to go back and remember a number or a moment when you felt financial shame or you felt that contraction in your chest, basically, because your bank balance was low. Place a hand on your heart, basically place a hand on your heart and one on your belly. And I want you to breathe into the moment, not to change it, but to feel it fully, safely, and here. Because it is safe to fully feel your emotions and name it. And that's actually how we geometrically change our reality. All right. So you are no longer in that moment, but your body still remembers. So let's rewrite the signal, because every signal your body sends out, not what you say with your mouth. A lot of people can say one thing, but the vibration within you says something else. And the vibration within you is the one that actually emits out to the universe and creates your reality. Science has now proven that. So what we want to do is rewrite that signal within us. So let's breathe together for a 4 count. I know before I said 5 count, but we could do 4 count or 5 count. All right. Now I release this belief that this number was a verdict of my worth. I now align with the truth. I am not scarcity. I am source, remembering its flow. Because when we actually are in full flow with source, then everything flows. Abundance, money, love, everything all flows together when we're actually in abundance with when we're in alignment with source. So, and those of you who don't know who source is the creator of the universe. Since we are all made out of energy, it is our energy source. Neither it created masculine and feminine energies for the universe to follow, basically. And so it's not a man, a man in the sky. So abundance isn't a number, it's the absence of the contraction. When the nervous system no longer flinches in lack, you are financially free. You are finally free. And when you are free, the field trusts you with more. So when the field here's the thing. So some people might make $1 million and you're constantly chasing that $1 million. And then when you get to 1 million, it doesn't feel like it's enough. And when you're constantly chasing, that's because you still have that lack vibration within you. So yes, there are people that can make money from hustling or working hard and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be that hard. We just have to be in alignment and in abundance at all times. And then it'll just flow how it's supposed to flow. And there's basically no no stopping it. You feel whole no matter how much money you make. Basically, you're able to stay humble and not allow it to, once you do make a lot of money, you're able to stay humble and not allow it to shift you into another vibration. But so basically resonating from the new pattern. So what you can do is 432 hertz is a healing sound. So I like to play that at night. I'm just gonna put that on right there so you can hear it. But the updated flow is basically, now that contraction has been witnessed, how does it feel to be in stillness? Not chasing more, not avoiding less, just being in complete coherence. So the breath pattern that matches ease is the 432 hertz. So I play this every night when I go to sleep. I no longer strive to prove. This is just a mantra that you can tell yourself. I no longer strive to prove I am enough because I remember that I always was. You can put your hand on your heart. You can sit with this music, 432 hertz. You can put your hand on your heart, sway if you need to, but really feel into the music and allow it to heal. So recoding your currency agreements. So we all come in with a certain amount of agreements because we chose to be here. We knew exactly what we were going to experience to learn what our soul needed to learn in order for its expansion. And so those of us that have gone through a really hard life, we actually chose that as a soul before coming into Earth. And so the questions that we have to ask ourselves is like, that's why it's important, like how we speak, how we talk to ourselves, and how we ask ourselves, like, okay, so if my soul chose this, what do I need to learn from this situation, even in the harder situations that happen? So the old, you can have affirmations and stuff like that, but the affirmations don't do anything if you don't change the vibration that's within you. And it's all about the vibration that's within you. So the evolved version is basically embodying the statements of truth spoken from a calm field. And we all have electromagnetic fields around us. So like if you ever been in the cold and you can see like the steam rising, like that's part of our field and our aura. And so the updated flow, you can either stand or you could just place your feet flat on the ground because it's like a grounded posture. And you can say slowly, and the thing about matching your vibration, it's about how you say it. So you can say things and not say it with conviction. But when you say things with conviction, it starts to bring up the emotion within you. And that's what matters, the feeling. So I allow money to flow through me without controlling me. I trust that I am supported even when I cannot see the next deposit. I give from coherence, not from fear. I receive with gratitude, not from guilt. And just the way you say it, you can start to feel it in your body. So you could basically write yourself a new sacred agreement, because any agreement that we came here with, we can cancel it and revoke it once we've learned the lesson we needed to learn from it. So you can say, I only earn in ways that nourish my soul. This is me. Like I had gotten out of the Marine Corps. I had quit. I had worked for the government for a little bit, but I just knew that I needed to get out of that and do my own business. And so I only allow myself to basically get paid to do the things I love versus anything else. Because when you settle for the other things, you might be this little boy. Silly. So when you settle for these other jobs that you might not like, or you hate your job, there's something that nourishes your soul out there, and you can get paid for it. You are basically, you should be able to get paid to exist. And that's why when we do what nourishes our soul, it doesn't feel like we're working. It doesn't feel like a job. Like, this is all I do now. I have my son here. Yes, I do have my son with me. And I'm able to talk about the things that I'm passionate about. I'm able to provide. I'm always provided for. That's the thing. If you've ever seen a time where you were like broke, you were always provided for, though. You were always able to eat. You survived it. So the universe always has our back. We just have the lack vibration to think we can't get more than that, and that it defines us. And so that's why, I used to be in this hustle mentality and like hustle harder. I got to do, especially being in the Marine Corps. But I had to really deprogram myself from that and really sit with, like I said, sit with my negative bank accounts and things like that to finally allow abundance to flow. And it starts with you just feeling whole in where you're at, and then it starts to flow in, and you're like, oh shoot, it really works. And so let me go to the last segment here, basically anchoring in harmonic service. So I'm reflecting on collective service. The old is reflection on collective service. Returning to stillness is the evolved. Returning to stillness, collective field coherence. So the updated flow, the more peace you hold with money, the more peace money holds in the world. So basically you have to visualize, this is just another exercise, but the real work came in like sitting with it, like not running from the negative bank accounts and not being ashamed of it, just knowing like, okay, this is just a temporary contraction when the expansion is on the other side, especially when you're trying to build your own business and do something that you're actually passionate about. Like you have to stick with it and believe in yourself, because no one else will. So you can visualize your healed financial field as a radiant signal, because we're always giving off signals to the universe, whether it's a negative or a positive one, and that's what's basically going to come back to us. So it's rippling, it ripples through your lineage. You're healing generational trauma, you're soothing ancestral scarcity, and you're opening new paths for those to follow. Like my son, he's not going to have to go through the same things that I'm going through, like he's just going to feel, he's going to be in his own wealth, because I transmuted that trauma within my lineage. So what I want you guys to remember, I usually do these for like an hour long. The last time I did like 50 minutes. But I'm just, if nobody hops on to ask questions or anything like that, I don't do this for any type of recognition or anything like that. I've learned to, I used to do things for like when you're always checking likes, or when you're always checking comments, or you're always trying to check followers. Like that's when you're doing things for the wrong reasons, and abundance isn't going to flow when you're constantly looking for like outside validation. And so that's something that a lot of people do in this social media day and age. And I'll admit, I did it for the longest time. Even getting into this spiritual space, I was still like looking for that outside validation. But once you start setting that intention, like intention is everything. And so you have to set the intention to basically not be doing it. Like, I'm not doing it for the followers. I'm not doing it for the likes. I'm speaking my truth because this is what I've done to heal my money wound. And I'm just putting it out there if there's anybody that it resonates with. And the thing is, everything I say isn't going to resonate with everybody. So basically, take whatever does resonate with you, and then leave whatever doesn't. And that's how energy, that's how energy works. Everybody is different. Everybody has different wants and dislikes. So it's basically about everyone being able to be different and live in harmony together, instead of like getting mad at the other person for being different, because we're all different. But we all come from the same creator. Like, we're all source, trying to remember itself, basically experiencing itself in physical form, and remembering that that's who we really are. And that's why my podcast is called Remember Who You Are. So remember, you are not the balance. You are the waveform beyond it. Open, rhythmic, and whole. And so that's what I'm going to leave you guys with tonight. I don't know how long these are going to go every time, so I'm just going to get on and do it. I usually do it on Fridays. I just didn't this last Friday because my sister was here and my son, it was my son's birthday the next day. So I'm doing it today. But the next one I'm going to do is next Friday, and it's going to be on like religious programming, my truth on what it comes to religious programming, the different things I've been through, the truth. I've always been a truth seeker. So you can tune in for that. I'm going to keep doing these every Friday. So if people want to start joining in and asking questions, or even like having a healthy debate, we can do that. I'm all about hearing what people have to say. And you can just click on my StreamYard link to join, and it'll be live every Friday. So I hope that this healing the money wound helped somebody out there, because it's definitely helped me. And I see I see a lot of things coming here in the future, because I was able to get rid of that lack vibration. And when you get rid of that lack vibration, you start to be able to receive money and love. So they both kind of come together because it's energy, once you heal that lack vibration. And so please, if you have more questions or specific questions, ask me, and then I can do this segment again, focusing on that. And then if you have any other topics you want to talk about, I'm all about universal law, sacred geometry, and energy. I've been learning a lot about masculine and feminine energy. So I'm going to start, going live about that as well. I'm just going to have a different topic every Friday. So, all right. You guys have a great day. And tune in for the next one.